Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good day to my team member and to Dr. Nomi. We are from Group 3 and today we want to present our assignment 3 for subject is E3217. Okay, before we start, I want to introduce our group member. I was Clarissa Betty Echo. My message number J46261. We have Nur Sakinah binti Damanduri J46246 and Hemna Prabunai J46196. Okay. So for this topic, at first I want to summarize what is international conflict. Okay. Um, we choose international conflict for China and US. It's about trade war between these two states, and it was begun in 2018, and it was contentious and constitutional economic conflict. So, international conflict refer to conflict happen between different nation states and conflict between people and organizations in different nation states. The conflict may arise from the controversy, disagreement, quarrel, or warfare. So, what is the key factor that cause the international conflict between um, China and US? Okay, the number one is about trade imbalance. The US has long complained about its trade deficit with China, meaning that it imports more goods from China than it exports to China. This trade deficit, in eye of the US government, has led the job losses and negatively impact certain industries. Okay, the number two of the key factors was intellectual property concern. The US has raised concern about China's intellectual property practice, including allegation of false technology transfers, intellectual property theft, and insufficient protection of patents and copyrights. These issues have fueled resentment in the US and led to calls for action to protect US intellectual properties rights. Number three, market access restriction, where was China's policies and regulation have been criticized for creating obstacles and barriers that impact US business expansion into the Chinese market, such as restriction of foreign investment and technology transfer. Number four, industrial policy. The US also raised concern about China's stagnant industrial policy, particularly elevation of unfair subsidies and support for domestic industries. The US sees that these policies as giving Chinese company competitive advantage and distorting global trade. And number five was geopolitical and national security issues. The US sees China rise as a potential challenge to its global dominance and has expressed concern about China's military advancement, territorial disputes, and alleged cyber espionage activities. Okay, the consequence uh, regarding of the US-China conflict was number one is economic impact. The trade war has resulted in higher tariff on a wide range of goods traded between the two countries. And this has increased costs for business, leading to reduced profitability and potential job losses. It has also disrupted supply chains and created uncertainty for business gaining future investment. Number two, global economic slowdown. The uncertainty and reduced trade volumes between the world's two largest economies has affected global demand investment and confidence. It has also led to a slowdown in international trade and contributed to a general deceleration of the global economy. Number three, agriculture sector. China is a major market for U.S. agriculture products and retaliatory tariffs from China have led to increased export for U.S. farmers, resulting in financial challenges and the need for government support. Number four, the consequence was the technology competition between U.S. and China, uh, where the trade war has highlighted the competition in advanced technologies such as 5G, artificial intelligence, and semiconductor manufacturing. Both countries have imposed restrictions and export controls of certain technologies, affecting affecting supply chains and potentially impeding global technological process. Number four, geopolitical tensions. The trade war has contributed to escalating geopolitical tension between the US and China, and it has strained diplomatic relations and has spilled over into other areas such as human rights issues, technology security, and military concerns. Okay, number six, it impacted the consumer. In both countries have also felt the impact of the trade war. Higher tariffs on imported goods can lead to increased price products, affecting um, customer purchasing power and potentially reducing overall consumption. Okay, after this, Prabhu will explain what is the key parties mapping between the conflict.
Hi everyone, my name is Emran Prabhunaya and I like Krishnan Nair. My matric number is J46196. I am here to present about the key parties mapping. So in 2018 and 19, a major trade conflict started between the US and China. The US imposed a tariff on about 350 billion worth of Chinese import, and China related by levying tariff on an additional 100 billion worth of import, a regulatory action allowed by WTO rules bound in 2018, despite an agreement in January 2020 to up further tariff high to existing ones remain. So the first, there is a large cross-country variation in the extent to which the trade war tariff affected countries' export. So the second, and somewhat surprising for a subset of countries, global export among products taxed by US or China grow faster than untaxed product. So number third, a country specified component of the tariff elasticities which rather than a product or sector specified elasticity which combine with specialization pattern and appear to play a critical role in explaining different responses across the countries. These insights could have important implications for policy by focusing attention on countries' potential to resize opportunities from a challenging global trade landscape. So, the needs and interests of the conflicts. So, I want to explain about the interests of US. So, Washington stayed in a focus on the power of China, where both progress progress in a quantitative and qualitative. Such growth is seen as a 21st century challenges that begin a major economic competition with the state of Beijing. In the past four decades, names as the opening reform, especially 2001, in known as the window of opportunity that play a role in the great financial progress. As the result, the United States come to grip with countries that we are able to weaken the light hegemony. The military and economic matter as a stake in the situation. This is so because obtaining the best interest in the order to able to maintain a deep influence on political and the global economy. Furthermore, US officials say many manufacturers and American are still dependent on the Chinese market, particularly for the processor chip sector as well the automobiles, aerospace, agriculture and entertainment industries. So the interest of China, which is busy aim to maintain without change the existing free trade model which has allowed the country to overcome record high trade, transfer of technology, human resource and deposit saving into foreign investment. China is thriving because its role the global economy has basically been wiped out. This situation any possibility of massively fragmenting the economy and weakening Washington affect its key allies. A development scheme based on innovation or increasing the role of consumption and the internal market known as the dual circulation strategy. As such, China economy prosperity will still depend on foreign markets welcoming it, business as well as economic conditions around the world. The trade war between the US and China has hindered the Xi Jinping administration effort to maintain high economic growth rates while opening opportunities to consolidate power. So that's only from me. Thank you.
Okay. So for my part, I will continue with the proposed conflict intervention strategy. So the first one, I will talk about the conflict resolution tools. The first one is we have just to use the conflict tree. So the conflict tree enables to visualize the various causes of a conflict as well as their resulting effects. So by separating cause and effect cleanly while also linking the two with the core problem, a clear path towards the next step of conflict resolution can be opened out. This also means that the conflict tree is a useful conflict mapping tool which is used to visualize various conflict. So the first part is the root. So the root of the tree represent the root cause of a conflict, which are not clearly visible on the surface and the effect of which cannot be directly linked back to them immediately. So it acts as a foundation of the core problem. So for our issue, the conflict of between US and the China, the root cause is about the US feels that they import more goods from China. So the next part is the trunk of the tree, which is represent the core problem, which is the problem the conflict is explicitly involved in. This means that the existence of this core problem is more clearly visible on the surface of the conflict. This also often means that the main discussion and argument of conflict will happen around this core problem. So this core problem will often be the most prominent reason for unrest, fight, and even civil wars to break out. And then this core problem will often be the clearest visible issue of attention. The conflict tree helps to separate this out from the rubble of causes and effect in the complicated scenarios. And the last part is that the branches of the tree represents the effect of the conflict in the real world. This helps link the conflict and its causes together into a relatively compact diagram. So the second tools is the wheel analysis. The conflict wheel organizes six important sections of conflict analysis, which is actors or relations, issues, dynamics, context or structures, causation, and options or strategy which can be analyzed further. So the dimension of conflict, the first part is the actors. So either it's the people, organization, or the nations involved. in the conflict. For example, in our topic is China and US. So the issuer, what is the disagreement? For example, like trade imbalance, US import more goods than China. The dynamic is the intensity of the interaction and the energy transformed from the people involved. So the fourth part is the context of structure, which is the factors outside of the conflict system that one is witnessing. For example, the outside factor, the COVID-19 outbreak happens. And the fifth one is the causation, the cause of the conflict, which is not limited to one but multi-causal. So there's a lot of causation of happens in between for the China and the US war, a trade war. And the last one, the options and the strategy, is the ways of the conflict might be dealt with. So for the next part is about the prevention strategy. So since this is international conflicts, we have limitation to construct the preventative recommendation. So therefore, we would like to select to talk about the United Nations Preventative Security Council. So the United Nations Security Council has the primary responsibility for the international peace and security. The General Assembly and the Secretary General play the role, important and complementary roles, along with the other UN office and bodies. The Security Council takes the lead in determining the existence of a threat to the peace or an act of aggression. So how does the UN maintain the international peace and security? The first one is the preventative diplomacy and mediation. The most effective way to diminish human suffering and the massive economic cost of conflicts and their aftermath is to prevent conflict in the first place. The United Nations plays an important role in conflict prevention, using diplomacy, good office, and mediation. Among the tools of the organization uses to bring peace are special envoys and political missions in the field. So next, the special and personal representative, envoys and advisors of the Secretary General. The Secretary General of the United Nations has a special and personal representative, envoys and advisors in many areas of work. And the last one is the peacekeeping. Peacekeeping has proven to be one of the effective tools available to the UN to assist countries to navigate the difficult path from conflict to peace. Through these multi-dimensional peacekeeping operations are called upon not only to maintain peace and security, but also to facilitate political processes, protect civilians, assist in disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration of former combatants, support constitutional processes and the organization of elections, protect and promote human rights, and assist in restoring the rule of law and extending legitimate state authority. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sakina, for the brief explaining what you will conclude for about this topic that conflict between US and China trade has far-reaching consequence for both nations and the global economy. While the trade war was highlighted long-standing issues in the economic relationship between these two giants, it also carries the potential for unintended consequence and prolonged economic uncertainty. Okay, that's all for us. For our presentation, our value and benefit for the information shared. Until then, I think that's all for today. Thank you for everyone.